Hi, AT from CNC at Home. I was recently asked to make some coasters for a wedding present for a niece of ours. And so I got to thinking, what would I put on these coasters? I could do their names with their anniversary date, that sort of thing. And then I remembered they like The Princess Bride. You know, the movie from the 80s about the Princess Bride. So I went out on the internet and I searched up the main characters and found some images and burned those on a set of tiles. So they're going to get a set of 6 coasters. One has a nice drawing that I found online. It has the whole cast and some stuff from the movie. It looks kind of cool. And then I also took the main characters. So we've got Princess Buttercup, we have Wesley, and then we have Vicini, we have Inigo, and we have Fezzik. So those are kind of the main characters. If I was doing a bigger set, there are plenty of other characters that'd be fun to put in there. I was kind of hoping to have enough space to put in Miracle Max and his wife, but that just wasn't in the cards this time. Anyway, I'd like to go through and show you what I did in Lightburn to prepare each of these tiles for burning and show you the end results. Also, I took the back side of each of these tiles and just put the Princess Bride logo on there, and I also put each character's name on their appropriate tile and just one of their famous quotes. So let's see if you can guess which quote I put on the back of each one. Let's take a look at the tiles. Actually, we're going to do the light burn first. What I do when I'm starting a tile is I go to my template that's essentially just a square that's 108 millimeters by 108 millimeters. This is approximately the size of the tile and the area that I have to work with. What I want to do is actually increase the size of this working area to 110 millimeters. So from the center, I expand this out to 110 millimeters. That will give me a 1 millimeter border around the tile. That way I don't have to position the tile exactly perfect and the image will still go edge to edge. So let's drop a picture on here. Here's one of the pictures that I found for the Princess Bride. And I'm going to take the largest dimension and change that with the aspect ratio locked. I'm going to change that to 110 millimeters. That way the height will fit exactly in the area. We'll just get this centered vertically and horizontally. There we go. And it's essentially ready to burn at this point. I just need to go into my power settings and make sure that I have it set to white tile for an image, which I believe is 1200 millimeters at 85% power. And I want to change this to 300 DPI because that resolution works well. Make sure I'm using Jarvis, just one pass. It's all set to burn. Let's try another image. Now this image, again, I want to resize it, but I'm going to take its other dimension, its height, and change that to 110. And its width then is going to be bigger than my working area. So once we get this centered, what I want to do is I want to take the 110 millimeter rectangle or square, and I want to use that as a mask for the image. Okay, so we can see that square. Okay, so what we'll start with is by selecting the picture first, which is the image that we're going to want to essentially crop or mask. And then I will select the square as my masking object. To what do I want to mask it? Now that that's selected, we'll just go under Tools and we'll select our apply our cropping mask thing. And boom. There we go. That way I don't have to worry about it burning outside of my square area. Now I can move this still, so if it's not quite centered the way I like it, I can move the image, and my masking shape essentially is a window into what I'm going to be cutting. Kind of a slick feature in Lightburn. Here I'm applying my burning parameters from my library. checking everything. Got 300. Yep. Looks good. Go ahead and apply that. Let's do a preview. And we can see that it looks a little dark, but it'll turn out okay. And look at that time. It's going to take a while to burn this. These tiles took anywhere from an hour and 35 to almost 2 hours to burn. So it's not a fast process. Let's grab another image so we can look at some other features that we can do within Lightburn. We'll get this sized up, so we'll take its height and we'll change that to 110 millimeter, again with the aspect ratio locked. We'll get that centered in our cutting area. And then we'll do the masking thing like we did last time. We'll select the picture, we'll select the mask, and then we'll apply that so we can see exactly what we're going to cut. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, I've burned this, and what ended up happening, it's just too dark, and the end result really wasn't good. So what I want to do is go into the image parameters, and I want to make some changes to this so that it's not so dark, and it's got some contrast. So I'm going to bump the contrast up, and I'll also play around with the brightness so that when it burns, it's not all washed out and just kind of dark. But remember, I'll throw up an image of the tile that turned out too dark so you can see what it had been. And that's why I went in and changed these parameters and reburned it. Do a quick preview. And again, this will take a while to burn. Not too bad because we've got a lot of white area where it doesn't have to do anything. On the back of the tiles, I put a piece of cork, and what I wanted to do was put the name of each character and one quote from the movie on there. So let's take a look at Inigo Montoya, because he has the best quote on there. So I got the name Inigo. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Iconic line from the movie, that's for sure. I also put the Princess Bride logo up on the top of each of these on the back so that it's kind of the Princess Bride collection of coasters. And we'll just make sure that I apply my cork settings. That's 4,000 millimeters per minute, and I can't read that, but it looks like 40 on the speed, 40 millimeters per minute. No, 40% power, not millimeters. 4,000 millimeters. So here's the burn of Buttercup. You'll notice at the bottom of the tile there's some white goofiness going on, and that was actually some issue I had with the paint. By pressing the Shift key and the frame button, the laser will actually turn on and go around your cutting area so you can see if it's where you need it to be. For what I'm doing, I wanted to make sure it was outside of the tile just a little bit, and it was on each side. So here's the tile of Wesley, sped up tremendously. This one took close to 2 hours to burn.
Let's take a look at the finished product. They turned out nicely. We can also flip these over and take a look at the back. This is where you'll see the quotes I used for each character. I want to quickly show a couple of more tiles that I did. I did some more moons. One I started with the summer squash as the underlayer coat and then put black on top, and that turned out fairly nicely. I also used the silver paint with the black on top, and that kind of had an interesting effect as well. It turned out nicely. Pretty much looks like the gray one, but worked out well. I want to thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, found something useful in it. If you think of it and would like to see more content like this, please hit the subscribe button and like this video. I hope you enjoy doing your CNC at home projects.
Oops.